Yeah, he conceded that game. There was just too much hate to overcome. Too much hate to overcome. My opener wasn't even that great. This opener is a lot better, but it would need to survive on one land hand, which I don't want to do. This hand is fantastic, so we'll keep it. Jamaka's Command. As much as that helps me later on, does it help me right away? Yeah, actually, you know, it's fine. So we'll start on a stomping ground. I hate this trackpad so much. So much. We'll get a hollowed fountain after that. So I'm okay with him just using Vines of Vastwood. Like I said, I'm just like hurting down his resources. So I'm gonna go ahead and hollowed fountain. And that should bring us to 14 life. There we go. Bolt is a great thing to draw, especially now that we have the correct lands here. Sure, Spellskite. He's in there. Spellskite's not doing a ton, but he can redirect Jamaka's command stuff, so that's kind of annoying. Still, I can block all day with Tarmogoyf. Instant, creature, land. Yeah, just a 3/4. Sure, Noble Hierarch can stick. Windswept Heath is alright. We have to be wary of the fact that Spellskite can attack and pump and stuff like that. And until a sorcery hits the graveyard, I can't really do very much. So I'm just going to attack just with Aven Mind Sensor. Just because of my lands and my life total. He actually can kill me with just damage. Glistener Elf, sure. Lands aren't exactly what I want to draw into. And the Spellskite's a problem, because it can redirect modes that I need to my Jamaka's Command. Alright, so we gotta force him to... He has no, we gotta force him to use some of his pump spells. Okay. That would make him a... Let's see, that would make him a... He's a 2/2, so it would make him a 4/4. So I would need to give him 1+1. To make him survive it and kill him. I could always make the Spellskite die. Make him waste some pump spells on the Spellskite. So I could bolt it, make him redirect the bolts. And then I could Dramaka's command fight and make him redirect the fight. And then, if he doesn't have any other thing to do, which he does, I'm sure, the Spellskite will die. Pump my Tarmogoyf. I guess it's a risky plan, but I'm going to have to go for it. Alright, so he's going to redirect. Sure. Now then, my guy is bigger. So he's going to live through it. And if he becomes immense, like, that's fine too, because then I've just wasted out his pump spells. Collect the Company is a pretty good draw. Gives me blockers. I guess I will do that on his turn. I don't think he's running any counter magic. Do I want to? I'm just going to collect the Company right now. Should have done it last turn. But this will actually let me get maybe a Thalia. No Thalia, just another Aven Mind Sensor. Which will let me attack from the skies. No, I think I want 2 Nicodles, so I can double block if I have to. Alright, well, maybe should have did it during his attack step, blowing him out of the water. But I'm pretty fine to not do that right now. I'm going to leave 1 Nicodle up. No, just that. And then I'm going to cast the Ooze. And I'm going to actually eat his yard. And the reason why I'm eating his yard is I don't want to become immense. But I'll double block at this point. As long as I survive a turn, I win this game. Right, because Become Immense costs 7, right? I don't know where Become Immense went. Should totally be in the Exalted. Nope. Did he just leave too? Okay. Well, that was Infect. Well, I mean, I could keep this hand, and I am going to keep this hand. But I can't cast the Retreat or the Geist in my hand yet. But, you know, when you're playing a 4-color zoo deck like this, you learn that even if you can't cast all the cards in your hand, as long as you can cast a couple of them for a while, then you're doing pretty good. Because you're greedy. So, I can cast Tarmogoyf next turn, and I have access to Path for turn 3. And I can cast my Wild Nacatl right now. So, with that being in mind, I'm pretty happy with my hand. And I don't need to mulligan a hand that is usable up to turn 3. Because up to turn 3 is where I start, when things start getting not in my favor anyways. So, there's a fair chance that, because I'm not, to cast either one of those, I'm going to need a land as well. So, I already got the basic planes out. The only thing that could not let me cast anything in my hand that I could draw that would be a land would be a forest. He's really going all in there with the Taxian Probe triggers. Is he like a Suicide Zoo deck? What colors am I going to see? Maybe he's just like a Delver deck, but he's just going like all in on his Delver. Well, okay, so you drew cards. I mean, you cycled cards. You didn't get any new information either. So you might have been looking for something very specifically. I don't know. At any rate, Tarmogoyf is now bolt-proof. And that makes me a happy camper. And I have access to another Tarmogoyf. If he decides to bolt my Tarmogoyf, I'm going to be like, that's cockatrice for you. They don't know rule interactions. Serum Vision again, huh? He's really looking for something. He could just be like a Storm deck, in which case that's fine as well. I'm assuming he's a Storm deck. Collected Company is not my greatest draw in the world. Do we see a bolt here on the Wild Nacatl? On the Nacatl! Vapor Snag. Alright, that's less stormy, that's more Delvery. You were at 12, so you lose 3. Yes, you should be at that. Three, 4 Tarmogoyfs. Alright, so he's got to be like a Suicide Zoo deck, right? I mean, who else uses Mishra's Bauble? Who else uses Mishra? Oh, he's not. Okay, so he's a I gotcha. He is a Prowess deck is what he is. He's a Prowess deck, that's what he is. Sure. Okay, you can look at the top card of your library. I don't mind. We're gonna lightning bolt you and win the game. Is that cool? Are you down with that? Okay. I was just checking. I was just being careful and knowing that you're okay with it. Alright, so we're against a deck that's like nothing but prowess, and that happens sometimes with prowess. So we're gonna bring in Thalia's. He's actually got a crap ton of burn, so bringing in Core Firewalkers seems like actually an alright plan as well as the Dramaka's commands and the Pyroclasms. Even the negates might be good. But what do we cut out? Here's the reason why I think the Zoo deck is tier 1. This is the specific reason. Because I have so many options with my sideboarding, and that's something when I was forcing Zoo, I never felt. I felt like, oh, I don't have enough sideboard slots. I can't do it all. I can't. How can it be a tier 1 deck if I can't just, you know, win? Whenever I was in Standard and I was playing a tier 1 deck, I had 1 or 2 cards that I could do because my main deck was so good I could pretty much win every matchup. This is what this feels like. I feel like I'm bringing in so much and then I have to decide what I gotta cut out. I'm gonna cut out retreats out of this go-around and also the Qasali Pride Mages because he's got so much counterspell stuff that I don't think it's the greatest choice in the world. I also am going to take out these Core Firewalkers. If I decide that he's bolting me too much and I need to, like, and I'm, like, really hurting off of it, I'll deal with it. I'm going to stay 1 above. Everything. The rest of the cards in my hand are all great. Oh, I guess 1 more Pride Mage. I forgot I've got that way. Yeah, that sounds good. If I decide that I don't see very much counterspell mana, I'm going to bring back the retreats. And if I decide that I see too much burns, I'll bring back in the Core Firewalkers. And that's just the way it's going to have to go. Yeah, I'll keep this. Okay. I guess he decided that the hand that he decided to keep, when I said it was keep, he was like, wait, nope, 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 can't do it. So I said, okay. I'm going to keep this hand. I mulled once, but it's a pretty good hand. Gets into Collect a Company. I'm going to keep that on... Well, it doesn't really matter if I keep it on top or not. Because I'm going to need a Noble Hierarch, so let's just move it to the bottom of the library, just to throw off our opponent. It's like we got a terrible hand or something. It's little play stuff like this. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. Because the truth is... I mean, we're going to just shuffle it away anyway, so it doesn't really matter at all. But we can pretend like we've got a terrible hand, so that way maybe our opponent makes rash decision. It's the feel, my friend. It's the feel. How do you feel about it? So I can cast a Nakatl. I can cast both. I don't know why I'm not casting both. I'll cast both. Why not both? Why not Zoidberg? Why not the Zoidberg? But we can go right into Collected Company next turn. Or a Smiter, which might be safer. Depends on what he's going to do right now. Alright, we're going to go into a Smiter because it's safer. You can't counterspell the Smiter. Can't counter that Smiter. That's one of the few things that I do miss about the Smiters is against this specific type of deck, the Grixis deck, where I can just be like, yeah, here's a Smiter, you can't do anything about it. Kolaghan's Command, make me discard a card. Kinda wish I kept that Smiter in hand then. Alright. Do we have blue out yet? We do. So, what do we want more of? Probably Temple Garden. Ain't no reason not to cast it. Swing for 7. Our noble Hierarchs. Yeah, that Kolaghan's Band would be way less of a blowout if I just waited till end of turn and then... Yeah, it would have been way better to do that, but... You know, gotta do what you gotta do. Pestermite. Sure, you're gonna bolt it? It's bolted. Alright, and then I'm gonna do this, and you're not gonna be happy about it. So, no. No, Splitter Twin! No! Oh, you don't even have the mana for Splinter Twin. Cool, Collected Company. I like that card. If he decides to tap down my Luxodon Spider, I'm going to attack with my my Quasali Prime Mage. Got no reason not to. He has to block it. I mean, tapping down my... Sure. Yes. Bolt on what? Okay. It's actually 7/7. Sure, bolt. That bolt is certainly exiled, my friend. This is a good one. I'm glad. People have been asking about Twin. So, how do you beat Twin? Hold up. Cost 5. Pay 1 more. There you go. Thank you. That way you can't remand this. Ah, you can dispel it, though. That's fine. This is still going to be a 5/5 when it attacks, though. So you have to block. And I will play a Tarmogoyf. GG, buddy, GG. Alright, I'm going to assume because he didn't see the retreats, and just my rule of thumb is if I don't see a retreat, he doesn't see a retreat, he's not going to bring in any counter spells against it. He's actually going to bring in removal spells, which also works against the combo, but less effectively. So if he's bringing in just removal spells, I can treat this like I would in normal zoo. I'm going to keep in the retreats, though. And I would bring in some anti things. I think I'd leave the Aven Mind Sensors out this time around because he's bringing in removal spells, not counter spells. If he's bringing in counter spells, I'd take the retreats out and I will put the Aven Mind Sensors in. No, I'm going to bring in Thalia's. I'm going to bring in Dramaka's Command because they're good against Twin in general. And I'm going to... the Meddling Mage is what I'm thinking about. What do I take out? I want to keep in everything. I want to keep in everything. The bolts become actually a lot less good. So I'm going to take out the bolts. And I think that's fine. I don't think I want to take in Meddling Mage for something else. Maybe one Meddling Mage for one retreat. I can call Twin on Meddling Mage. I can call Bolt on Meddling Mage since I took Bolts out of my deck. Kolaghan's Command I can call. It can recycle... this deck can use Kolaghan's Command really well. Recycle dead combo creatures, recycle Snapcasters, recycle just Tassigers and stuff. It's not my favorite Kolaghan's Command deck. This is a keepable hand. Keep! We have a protection against his combo. We have another protection spell against his combo, which probably will draw out a bolt. It's one of the few times where I cast Tarmogoyf before I cast the Pride Mage. The hope here is that he's going to use a Visions. And now I'm great. Yeah, now my Tarmogoyf will live past everything, so... happy days for me. So, let's see. He puts a card from his library to his library. And that's it, right? So he just switched order of a card. So he liked the two ones that are on top, huh? Noble Hierarch. I love to see you in my opener. Actually, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be not greedy because he could have sided in Blood Moon against me. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to go that way. What did I put out? Windswept Heath? Yeah. My need for blue, much smaller than what it seems. I'm going to just make sure that I can't get blown out of the water by a Blood Moon. So we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna do it this way. No getting blown out by a Blood Moon for me. I mean, I doubt that he's bringing in the Blood Moon, but he could have. Could have. I'm just playing smartly. I'll be sad if I get a Geist. But I'm just gonna keep playing the way this way. That's my gut feeling. I can path my... well, no, if I path my own dude, all I'm gonna get is a basic. Yes, for now. Let's see what he's got. Is he thinking about bolting my Tarmogoyf? I'm not going to let that fly. Playing a twin deck, I don't think you have an excuse to make a mistake like bolting a Tarmogoyf. We're just going to be smart and play around the Blood Moon. I've got no reason to die horribly to a Blood Moon. Name your target. No. No. The answer is no to that. What do you want to do with it, man? It's all you. There's your hand. So he must have the combo in hand then. Move to bottom library, draw a card. Alright, so we have 3 mana at our disposal. He can't go for the combo right now. He can't go for the combo right now. So I can get an extra Exalted trigger on my with my Pride Mage. Or I could put Thalia out and slow his roll. I think putting Thalia out and slowing his roll is probably better, because it's not like he can combo off next turn. I'll go for the 4 damage. It just seems like it might be better just to go ahead and be like, everything you cast is going to cost 1 extra. Pretty much. You know, it'd be kind of sad if I run flat into like another Vendilion Click. Olivia Valderin. Shoosh. That's not a card I expected to see from this deck. Let's see. View library. Get ourselves some form of blue. Probably a breeding pool. Actually, only a breeding pool. Scooz. Scooz is alright here. It's not great here. I dislike that Valderen's about to kick my butt. We'll attack for 5 while I still can, right? Yep. The idea about that was I can at least pump my my Scavenging Ooze if he starts killing off my guys. Looking back in retroplay, because I always make mistakes, and I'm not a fan of my own mistakes, I could have put the Keswick Wolf run out prior to tapping my mana, and then I would have been able to have 1 extra floated mana so I could eat something, like end of turn, if he decided to kill my Noble Hierarch. That's my bad. And it could bite me. We'll see. Yeah, and if he shoots down my extra thing... Snapcaster for Serum Vision, huh? Alright, well that changes my Goyf size. and that's something I could then did too, was eat his Serum Visions. Not let him do that. Puts a card from the puts it on his bottom. He's looking at one other card, deciding whether or not he wants to keep it. I mean, he can't just block with his Snapcaster, because then he goes down to Bolt range. Because then he goes down to Bolt range, so this 2-mana damage is not really going to matter in the short run. I'm just hoping the game just stays in short run. Yeah, we are only going to attack with the Tarmogoyf. So that way it's a 5/6. He has to soak it up with his Valdarin, right? And, hold up, I can do some stuff with that. I gotta keep 2 mana open, so... I guess we trample? Or we just... Nah, trampling for 1 is not really worth it. I'd rather eat his library. Yeah, I mean, he's in some dire straits. I don't think that was the correct play, what he ended up doing with the Serum Visions, but that's just me. It might have been the correct play, because he just didn't have the support cards in hand he needed to win this game. But the difference here now is from last turn to this turn, is I've got an overwhelming advantage on the board now. And anytime, like I've always said, anytime I see someone going Serum Visions, Serum Visions, Serum Visions, I know there's something wrong. That this is not going to be good for them. And yeah, that would have been fine. GG. So, that's how you beat the Twin deck. Notice all those games, I didn't let him go off on Twin. I had Pride Mage out, I had Path to Exile in my hand. I had ways to get around it. The retreat to Coralhelm can stop the Twin combo for a turn. Unless it is... No, not even unless. Just a turn. It can stop a combo for a turn. So... Anywho, yeah, the deck, I gotta say, man, the deck feels very tier 1. It just, like, I have this common problem where I have so many cards that I could sideboard in that I'm now figuring out, like, well, what cards do I need? My sideboard, I don't know what to do with my sideboard. Not because my sideboard's bad or I don't have options, but because I just literally just have enough options that I don't know. I'm doing really well. As a quick little recap on the deck, this is what I've got so far. This is what my sideboard is right now as it stands. It seems to actually be doing really well. I think I've solved the problem that I was having against the aggro decks. So now I've got a really good blue... I've got a really good blue matchup. So Twin, Grixis, Delver, all those decks, really good. I can beat the crap out of them. I can also beat up like things like Jeskai Control or Blue-White Control. They don't really exist all that much, but I can beat them up. I am not an auto-lose to Tron, but I'm a pretty big dog. However, with the combo, I've gotten a couple outs now. So I've got more outs than I used to, so I'm less of a dog. I'm still a dog, but if we're going to talk about dog sizes, instead of being a Great Dane, I'm more like a little Italian Greyhound, just a pretty little baby dog. So I'm a puppy now. I'm not this is a dog to Tron. Against aggro, I've actually found now that I've changed my sideboard. I'm using Pyroclasm in the side, and that I'm siding out the correct cards to put Pyroclasm in. No problem. I'm having no issue with aggro decks now. So, feeling great about it. I've got enough Qasali Pride Mage and Stony Silence among other aggro kill cards that I'm good against Affinity now. So I'd say that I'm at least 55% winning against Affinity. And then after sideboard, I go up closer to like, maybe 65%, maybe even 70 if you want to push it. My combo matchup's great now. I don't lose against Storm because Storm's a bad deck anyways, so I don't lose against it. It's not a bad deck, it uses its life a lot, and Zoo takes total capital on that. Forces them to go off turn 3, and if they can't do it and fizzle, which they generally can't because they don't have the support cards anymore because of all the bannings, they lose. So, against that, I've been winning against Amulet, although it does depend on you getting a little bit lucky, but it's unlike before where you were playing against an unfair deck that was aiming to win unfairly very quickly. You are now also an unfair deck that aims to win very quickly if you have the hand for it. So it kind of evens itself out, and it ends up happening that whoever gets their combo off better, I should say better because I've beaten Resolve Twins, or Resolve Titans on turn 2. Whoever gets their combo off better will win the game. And not only that, if they falter, or they have to stumble around a little bit to get their combo, you'll win the game just because you're naturally Zoo. So you're at you're actually at advantage in that deck now. Ad nauseum I've beaten. The Jund decks and like the mid-range decks are still hard. I won't lie, they're still hard. I've beaten them, but that doesn't mean that it's like I'm gonna preach, oh yeah, we're unbeatable now. They're still hard. There's still kryptonite to this deck. Life gain still really puts it back. Life gain can actually stop the combo too. I can easily kill you at 15 life. At 17 life, it gets a little harder. At like 18 life, I've really got to push it to get there, and I might not even have the life total myself to support it. At 20, I have to have a Noble Hierarch out in order to beat you. At 25, I can't beat you with the combo. So like Soul Sisters will still kick this deck's butt. But my matchups have improved across the board. I'm better against the Twin decks than I've ever used to be, and the Delver decks than I've ever used to be. And my combo games have gone up, and I've solved the problem where I was losing against aggro, and now I'm starting to win against aggro. So even Red deck wins. Red deck wins. I haven't really lost. No, I haven't lost a game of Red deck wins since I started testing this. And that has a lot to do with just sort of bad Red deck wins players. But that's it. So the games that I didn't show because they ended up in either a Rager or someone yelling at me on Cockatrice or someone playing far too slowly for me to include in a video. There was only 2 games that I lost, and that was once against Kiki Court, and even then it was really close, and I congratulated the guy on being very close cut. And I think I even kind of had an edge, but then I drew sort of crappily. And then the other one was against the million turn time warp deck, and that deck literally goes to time every time. It took over 50 minutes for him to win the game. So if it was MTGO, he just would have timed out. So I didn't think it was worth showing. But here are the games. All the games that were worth showing. Ironically, I also won. So awesome. And this is it for my gameplay footage. After this, I'm going to be going to New York. I'm going to be spending time with family. I'm going to be going to the Headless Horseman Haunted Hayrides, which are awesome and super scary. And I'm actually going to include a link to my trip next time we're up there, so that you can see me and my girlfriend go up there. And then I'll be back in Atlanta, around the 14th, so I'll be able to test then. I know it comes out on the 12th, and I really wish I could do it quickly on the 12th. We'll see if I can sneak it in on the 12th. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching, and remember to always feed your animals! This time, retreat a little bit, then feed the animals.